2, 1. Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. 815.
Question of the day is, if you try to fail and succeed, which have you done? I'm Greg. That's Tom right over there. This is the In Crowd 815 podcast for the 13th day of July, the year 2024, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind.
Yes. Episode number 223 in the continuing saga of two guys who just want to do good for the city of Rockford. And, if you're keeping track of the long score, it's 560 since we launched this thing back in 2013, Tom.
And well over 1,000 since I started on Saturday mornings. So, not to brag or anything. I'm just saying. I'm just
in case
saying.
anybody thought they were getting rid of us anytime soon. It's not going to happen.
We're not going anywhere. Nope.
We got a couple of great guests today.
Yeah, it's all about the A's, Abby and Andrew.
You got it. So before we get to our A-list guests, let's do this.
I like.
There we go. Our current race to 10 has Joanne in the lead by a score of 4-1. And it appears we probably will not have Joanne with us on the show today. If that's the case, if I don't hear from Joanne by the end of our interview segments today, we will let our one of our guests fill in for Joanne and give us our guess for her this week. Being that she's in the lead so far, like she is 4-1, I feel comfortable in doing this as a audible today.
You know how serious Joanne is about her points. I don't think she's going to like it if she loses.
I don't know. We'll hold that over the guests' heads. No, 6.9 billion is our big number of the week this week. That's a B. 6.9 billion is the answer. Legos or layups? Legos or layups? That's the guess we want you to put in the chat. Put that in the chat. Hashtag big number of the week. Legos or layups. Let's see if I can I put this in the chat right now? There we go. Punch that in there. And see if you can figure that out. And yes, I do continue to challenge you. Go ahead and take that number and Google search it. I don't care. Go see if you can find a story from the last week that makes you go, oh, I think I know what the answer is. I think I know what Greg was thinking with the big number of the week this week. And then throw it in there.
I already sent mine in.
I got your text. We're good to go. All right. So to start things off for us this week, we have the development associate for RAMP. What is RAMP? You probably want to know, and I do too. So we're going to bring Abby Finley on to tell us all about what in the world RAMP is. Abby, welcome to the In Crowd 815 podcast. How are you today?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Did you grow up in Rockford or somewhere else? And do you have some family nearby or near and dear to your heart?
Yeah. So I am not a Rockford native. I am a Rockford transplant, and I'm proud of it. I love it. I met my husband in college, and he is a Rockford native, like through and through. Graduated from Rockford East. We met in college and moved back here after that. And I've been in the nonprofit world in the Rockford area ever since.
Okay.
I grew up, though, out in Grayslake, Illinois, so it's about an hour and a half from Rockford. So my family's still out there. But my husband's family is still in Rockford. We see them often, and we love it.
Okay. So love brought you to Rockford just like me. I'm here for love.
Yes, and it keeps us here. You might hear him in the background, but we have a 2-year-old toddler. Also, we adopted him from the foster care system earlier this year. So we fostered him and then adopted him, which was awesome. So seeing that side of the Rockford community too is really eye-opening. And he runs around and rules the world now. So you might hear him running around in the background.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like it didn't take too long of a process to adopt. Or how long were you in the process to adopt?
Yeah, so we got into the process to foster. Of course, we were like, if we can adopt, sure. So with his case, it was pretty quick, but it can take a long time. I volunteer with Winnebago County CASA as well as a volunteer there, and I'm on their board of directors. So we kind of knew the ins and outs of the foster care system from that. But it went quick, and we feel lucky to have him in our lives. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky to have this little kid. I'm like, no, like, he's changed us, and like we wouldn't even picture our lives without him. So
you should bring him on, make him a star, put him on like your
oh my gosh, he's a little chaotic this morning. I don't know if you guys want him on here.
You know best. That's the key. You know best, so you know if that's a good idea or not such a good idea. So congratulations on that. That's really exciting.
Thanks.
That's very,
Yeah,
very
thank you.
exciting. I've told this story a couple different times over the years that my goal when I was in high school, when my friends and I talked about our futures and families and stuff like that, I always told them, I'm never going to have my own kids. I'm going to adopt kids, and I'm going to make sure I marry someone who wants to have, adopted kids and not our own kids. I have 6 of my own kids, Abby. I did not adopt a single child.
Well, it's never too late to get involved, Greg.
There you go. We'll see what the good Lord has in store for us in the future. But go ahead, Tom.
Well, I was going to say, it's kind of funny. I have 3 kids, and I never wanted kids either. Well, no, that's not true. I didn't like kids. When you're 17, 18, 19, you hear a kid crying in a grocery store in a restaurant, you're like, oh my God, shut that kid up. Now it's the sound of joy. I hear a kid crying. I just want to go up and hug him. That's what I want to do. I want to just hug him and say, okay, Mom, let's figure this out. He might be hungry. He might need a diaper change. It's your department, No, I mean, if it's a mom in a restaurant and I don't know her, it's her department. If it's my own kid, I change more diapers than most men. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, now my heart is completely different. You are 100% correct. Kids change your heart. They change your mindset. They change everything. We can all 3 attest to that. So that is so awesome. And God bless you for well, I was just going to final point. I was just going to say, God bless you for fostering and then adopting. There's not enough of that going on. There's not. Yeah, no. we all love kids and this and that. But when there's kids out there that just need a mom and dad and you step in, wow, that's the most noble thing you can do. So thank you.
Well, that's kind of you to say. I mean, our eyes were open to it. I don't think a lot of people know that in Winnebago County alone, there are over 1,000 kids in the foster care system in Winnebago County alone, which is wild to me. And I've really been like eye-opened to see how some of those kids really cross over into the work I'm doing at RAMP. They need those additional services just to like get through school or to like function at a level that, keeps them like, what am I trying to say?
Progressing, just getting better.
Yes, progressing. That's the word. So it's been interesting to see that crossover, but our eyes have been open and we're like, oh my gosh, there are so many kids out there. It's wild.
Nice. Well, yes, kudos to you for doing what you're doing. And for those who have no clue what in the world RAMP is, I'm going to ask you to tell us what RAMP does and what RAMP is. Before that, though, what is your career arc that led you to RAMP? After you graduated, you said you went to East.
My husband graduated from East. Yeah, and then I went and got my bachelor's degree from Judson University in Elgin, but they also have a site here in Rockford.
Yep.
I have a degree in graphic design, and I was working at a large nonprofit out in the suburbs as their graphic designer. But we wanted to come back to Rockford. I loved the city. We visited all the time when we were in college, and we just knew that was home. So we moved back once I got a job at another nonprofit in Rockford. I was the marketing communications director there. So that graphic design piece, but also dipped my toe into the development and fundraising world, and I loved it. So I made the to Ramp about a year and a half ago as their development associate, and I haven't looked back since, and I love it so much.
Nice. So for those who have no clue what Ramp does, I'm going to bring up your Facebook page and you can kind of tell us what's Ramp all about.
This is my favorite thing to talk about. So Ramp is a nonprofit serving Winnebago, Boone, DeKalb, and Stevenson counties, so what we call Northwest Illinois. And we provide services and advocacy to the disability community. Something I didn't know before I started working at Ramp was that 1 in 4 individuals have a disability in our community. 25% of the population. That is a huge number if you really think about it. So we provide services and advocacy. What's unique about us is we are a center for independent living. So our whole goal is independent living for our consumers, and that looks different for everybody. Independent living might be living on their own. Independent living might be securing an equitable job. So everybody has different goals, but we want everybody to be striving towards independent living. We serve any disability, any age. So we don't just, hone in on autism or Down syndrome. It's any disability, any age. We serve babies up to the elderly. And what's cool about that is we often see consumers using services at Ramp as a child and then continuing to use our services into adulthood, which creates a really great supportive continuum of care and support as they, navigate the different phases of life as an individual with a disability, which is wonderful. So that's high level what Ramp does. I could go on forever and ever, but it's really, really good work in our community.
Well, I see, this physical activity summer camp that you just did with Northern Illinois University, looking for participants, children with a diagnosis of autism between the ages of 3 and 10 years old, able to follow one-step directions. That's something that looks like you're doing just, July 16th through August 9th. That's a really neat program, and it's led by NIU, which is that's an awesome partnership to have.
Yeah, we often will partner and do a lot of referrals. So if we are not the spot that is going to serve our consumer best, we do not hesitate to refer out to other services. And we often partner with other community agencies to best support that individual, which is hugely important. We want that person to be as connected and as supported as possible because that helps the individual ultimately. So it's really good. We really are proud of that piece of our work.
Nice. Well, I know the main thing we wanted to talk about today was the River Run, August 17th. This is pretty cool because when most people, I think, see the advertisements and stuff for these running events, they're like, "Oh, yay, another 5K." Well, no, you're doing a 5K run, yes, but a 3K walk and wheel, and even a half marathons. You've got a couple of things going on here. It's not just the 5K.
Yeah, we try and cater to as many people as we can. So obviously our course is completely accessible. So if someone is a wheelchair user, they're welcome to come out and join us because of our route that is accessible, or someone who uses a mobility aid is able to kind of join us. But then it's also super family friendly. My husband and son are signed up to do the 3K walk, and I'm interested to see how that goes for them. I won't know because I'll be working, but it's family friendly. And the cool part about the half marathon is it's one of the only half marathons in the month of August in the region. Like if you look at Wisconsin, Iowa, Indiana, it's one of the only half marathons around here. So we attract a lot of runners from different areas that come out and run with us. And it's a really flat course. So people go real fast and set personal records, which is cool too.
Nice. Well, I'm going to put the link to the info Facebook event in our chat so people can click to it very, very easily. This is an 11th annual event. So you've been doing this for years. You know how it works. You know how it's done. And people have probably done this with you for 3, 4, 5, some 10, 11 years.
Yeah, those are my favorite folks to talk to when they've come back year after year after year and have just committed to being a part of that River Run event. Is so fun. And we have staff that have worked at Ramp for 15, 20 years that have also been a part of River Run for that long. So It's a really cool way to connect with our community and folks who might not otherwise know about Ramp. Yeah, so it's a really fun event and super like accessible and a great entry point for a lot of folks in our community.
I'm glad you said that that way that you said it, because a lot of times what some people don't realize is these events that not-for-profits like yours put on, it's not just about the participants of the event. It's about the awareness that the organization gets by doing the event in the first place. It's not,
Absolutely.
yes, it would be, wouldn't it be wonderful if 100% of the community took place in a not-for-profit event? Well, yeah, yes and no, because we don't have the space for 150,000 people to do one single event
Right.
downtown in Rockford. But the awareness that it draws to what you are doing is really the top of the mountain. That's really what it's all about, is to, hey, we're here, this is what we do. And oh, by the way, you can participate in this event if you'd like to, and please support us if you find what we're doing worthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sponsorship side of things too. We have sponsors for this event. So seeing different community businesses and organizations come alongside us and say, hey, this is a great event, we want to be involved, we're going to sponsor, is truly amazing. And at the end of the day, this event supports the work that we're doing. It's a fundraising event. So when someone comes out and registers and does a walk or a run with us, it's supporting the disability community because our profit's going right back into programs. So it's great to know that people are coming out and supporting us because they see the value of the services and they just want to be involved in that.
Nice. Good deal. Well, I think we covered all of our bases before we transition, Abby, from this to our next guest. I'm going to do a little bit of trivia with Tom. Is there anything we didn't ask you about today that you wanted to make sure we touched on before we go on to the next thing?
No, I think you guys did a really great job covering like the width of what Ramp does and why it's important and the work we're doing in our community. So A+ to you all.
We appreciate that. You know, there seemingly is a handful of organizations that do similar work. But what I have found in talking with the leaders of most of these organizations, they all have their niches where they're stronger in some areas and not in others. And what you said earlier about referring people to other places, you know where you're strong, and you've networked with other organizations and know where they're strong. So, hey, guess what, young family, we could help you, but the Superhero Center for Autism, they have exactly what you're looking for. Go, you want to see them, and this is why.
Yeah, and we often see folks that are coming to us for services. It's just overwhelming, whether it's a new diagnosis of a disability, whether it's a disability that they've lived with for decades and they have like a new development or a new desire in life that they're pursuing. It can be extremely overwhelming to enter into that. So that's why we say like we're a resource. We want to be a resource center for folks. To assess the situation and guide in a way that provides like the best care for them. So
awesome. Well, appreciate the info today, and we're gonna bring on Andrew, and we're gonna bring on I believe we may have someone else with Andrew at some point. Good morning again, Andrew.
I'm not muted. Can you
hear me now? There you are. Now we can hear you. Awesome. All right. So before we get into all things Byron Civic Theater and Gateway Community Arts, we've got some Tom Moore trivia for us this morning. We're just going to try to score points as a group. All right. We're not going to compete against each other. We're just going to try to score points against the general population. All right.
All right. Each answer is worth one. Each answer is worth 1,000 points, so you're going to score a lot of points. Can you hear me okay? Because there's a really bad connection going on for me.
We got some stutters, but it's okay.
It's a big time delay. It's a big time delay.
All right. Question number 1.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Question number 1. Now, keep in mind, folks, so these particular questions. All right, we have a fifth.
Yes, we do.
These particular kind of geared maybe somebody in their 30s or 40s or something like that. So you have to dig deep. Well, you got as a team. Here we go. Question number 1. In the long-running cartoon The Simpsons, who is the voice of Homer Simpson? I have 2 options. Is it Harry Shearer or Dan Castellaneta? Once again, in the long-running cartoon The Simpsons, who is the voice of Homer Simpson? Is it Harry Shearer or Dan Castellaneta?
Watch The Simpsons.
I don't watch The Simpsons.
I was gonna say I have no help here.
Dan.
I think it's Dan. I'm going with Dan because I
Me
think
too. I'll go with Dan.
Henry Shearer is an actor.
No,
but Dan
Harry
created the show.
Shearer. Well, right. I thought it was Harry Shearer when I first started doing this, and then I found out it was Dan Castellaneta. He goes, "That's a great question right there." So it is. Yep. 1 point for the group. 1,000 points for the group. Way to go.
1,000 points.
All right, here we go.
Question
This is a
number
good one.
2.
This is a movie question. Movies. He quotes. In movie, did we hear the quote? Freedom brings opportunity. Opportunity makes your future. So your parents are going out of town. You got the place all to yourself. Is that Ferris Bueller's Day Off or Risky Business?
That's risky business. That's got to be risky business.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yes. They did. Ferris Bueller
All
didn't
right.
throw a party at his house.
No.
Yes.
No, he did not. All right. Here you go. Oh, we're doing all 6 of them, correct?
Sure. Let's go for it.
All right. Here we go. This is an oddball kind of a question. It's about a birthday. All right. Just this past week, folk singer Arlo Guthrie, and everybody except Greg said, who? He sings City of New Orleans. Riding on the City of New Orleans. That song. You've all heard it. All right. Anyway, in just this past week, folk singer Arlo Guthrie celebrated a birthday. Was he born before or after Janet Guthrie, who's no relation, became the first? Uh-oh, I froze.
You froze.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Janet Guthrie,
Well, anyway.
the race car?
Yeah, was he born before or after Janet Guthrie became the first female ever to compete in the Indy 500?
Oh, he was born before that.
Before, gotta be.
He
He's
was
Greg's
born
age.
Is
before.
that your? He's Greg's age. I think he's a little older. He's a little older than Greg.
He's
All
my
right,
father's
so
age.
Arlo Guthrie was born in 1947.
Almost
Janet
exactly
Guthrie
my
was
father's
born.
age.
Janet Guthrie was born in 1938.
Oh,
After is the correct answer.
wow.
Janet Guthrie was, I believe she worked for NASA. I know she did. She worked for NASA and she had created a lot of good stuff, but it wasn't until she was like 38 years old that she drove Indy in 1977. So she was
amazing.
already,
Wow. Go, yay.
it's not even funny, but it's true.
That's a good one.
That's
That's a
just
good one.
kind of the way it goes. Yeah. Yep.
Ah.
All right, here we go. Question number 4. Which U.S. city is larger with regards to population? Is it Cincinnati, Ohio, or Louisville, Kentucky? Once again, which U.S. city is larger with regards to population? Is it Cincinnati, Ohio, or Louisville, Kentucky?
I'm going with Louisville.
Yeah, we go Louisville.
I've driven through Louisville, but never stayed there. I've stayed in Cincinnati once, and Cincinnati felt bigger than Louisville, but I'm not sure. Louisville might be more spread out than Cincinnati, so I'm gonna go with you guys and say probably Louisville. You got any input on this, Abby?
I would say Louisville. I've never been there, but my husband's family used to go there all the time to see grandparents and stuff. So that's what I would
Okay,
say.
so they're both on my bucket list, but you are correct with Louisville. Believe it or not, listen to this. 624,444. And Cincinnati, 309,513.
Wow.
It's more than double. It's more than double the size.
The only time I've been in Cincinnati was like 1989 or 90, is a long time ago, but it felt big. It felt downtown, the skyscraper type of thing. But yeah, that's wild. Louisville did feel like it was more spread out in a bigger city, so that doesn't surprise me too much.
Well, we Southern folks have a lot of kids, though.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I think we got 3,000 points. Anything else is gravy from here.
Question number 5. All right, here we go. Who wrote the book? Okay, this is where it gets a little out there. Who wrote the book Catcher in the Rye?
Oh my God.
I should have
know this.
I should have did knowing the audience here, and I knew the audience who was going to be. I didn't think about the ages, so maybe I'll come up with a different one here.
Well, we were probably all required to read it in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could all, when we hear the name, we'll go, "Oh yeah, I remember now." But J. Edgar Hoover. I don't know. Just
well, you got the first letter correct.
J something. James, Jason.
No, just J. Just J.
J. Oh.
As soon as he says that, we're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, duh."
All right. You want the answer? J.D. Salinger. J.D. Salinger. Okay, final question. Final question. We always do a Rockford trivia question. This is multiple guess. You have 3 options. Here we go. What year did Mrs. Fisher's potato chips begin in Rockford? Was it 1928, 1932, or 1936?
I'm gonna go
Once again, what year? Well, let me ask it one more time. What year did Mrs. Fisher's potato chips begin in Rockford? 28, 32, 36.
You said 28. I for some reason I think I saw that on the bag. Like found it in 1928.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel good about the 28 guess. So let's go with
Come on, 28. Well, the bag lied. It's 1932. 1932. So you got
I'll blame it on the Mandela.
You got $3,000. I think you got $3,000 or $4,000. You can split it all up amongst yourselves. So
Ramp will be expecting.
Greg is
yeah.
Greg is taking care of that part of it.
All of you wonderful, generous viewers who are thinking about writing a large donation today, when you send your $3,000 to InCrowd 815, we will divide that evenly between Ramp and Gateway Performing Arts. So please write the check to InCrowd 815, and I will be glad to disperse of the funds for a small 15% founders fee. Okay, there we go.
Wait a minute. What about the trivia guy here? Where's my cut?
The trivia guy. He'll get his cut too.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, Abby, we really appreciate your time this morning and the work that you're doing with Ramp. So best of luck on your event coming up here again. The big River Run is in August 17th. Let me bring that screen back up here real quick, so everyone can see it one more time. The River Run with a half marathon and or 5K run and or 3K walk wheel and the Kid Zone, August 17th. Down there by the river is that, where is this point? Where is it starting from? Do you recall?
Yeah, it's starting at City Market Pavilion and it's going all the way along the river. So it's a really beautiful path, and I fully expect to see you both, Greg and Tom, out there running.
Awesome. All right. Well, you just keep dreaming there, Abby. Have a great rest of your day.
Well, back in the day, we did the radio station that Greg and I used to work at, ROK, before COVID and all that. It's a long story, but we used to do the Rock River Raft Race every year. And there were several times when I was out there on the river doing the raft race. And I remember one time my buddies and I got together. We were the Rock River Gamblers. We had this flat bottom thing, and we ended up sinking. Fortunately, we had life jackets. Oh, it was a pretty poor design, but we had a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun doing something like that. And I got sunburned.
You have a great rest of your weekend, Abby. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, bye-bye. There goes Abby from Ramp. And let's see if I can't do this right. I like to transition really well when I can. So boom, boom, look, put up that beautiful screen. Beauty and the Beast, the Broadway musical, is coming to Byron Civic Theater. And those putting it on are on the screen with us here today. Andrew, Ellen, welcome. How have you been?
Good.
Tell us what's going on with Byron Civic Theater. What is this, your 5th or 6th or 7th year doing stuff down in Byron? It's been a while.
That's about right. About 6 years, 5 years, combination. So, so Byron Civic Theater has partnered with Byron Park District now. So we're also employees with both of them. So a combination together in the community that extends, far beyond. We have actors all the way down in Rochelle, Dixon. So it's really a really great central place that we're getting a lot of hits from other actors in the area. So our cast is very vast as far as reach. So we're very excited about that. So
that's awesome. And you get to use that beautiful theater, which is technically in the middle school.
Correct. Yeah. Fantastic theater. And I mean, they have been, we're one of the first to have state-of-the-art projector that we're using so we can do a lot of animation kind of things on there. So that's been very exciting, and some new lighting that came in not too far. You come see the show, you see new lighting designs and that kind of a thing. So yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Awesome. Well, tell us, before we get too deep into anything of this current show, tell us about Gateway and what you have been doing over the years, and maybe a little bit of an arc of how that ended up combining with Byron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we started Gateway. We're going to celebrate 11 years as a company this October. Huge milestone. We started it just kind of table talk one day that we were like, we kind of want to do theater different, not better, but different. And that's kind of what we set out to do 11 years ago. And now here we are, and our theater has completely morphed into something we never thought it would. About 7 years ago, we partnered with Gigi's Playhouse, and we started a theater troupe called Portal for actors with Down syndrome. And that was such a huge success. And we did main stage shows with that theater troupe for a number of years, and then it kept growing, and the actors were getting better and better and better. And so we combined our community theater troupe with our Portal theater troupe. It's kind of a permanent combination now. So we are doing what's called inclusion theater, which means that individuals with special needs can audition as well, and they're put on the same playing field as far as for roles and solos and dance roles and all of that. And we did our second fully inclusive show this last year. Our first one was Shrek in 2022, I think it went up. And then this last year we did Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and that was a huge success. And because when we birthed Gateway, our whole thing that we told people all the time is we are a theater company that's setting out to build bridges with other theater companies, which was kind of foreign for a lot of community or people in the theater community here, that we were like, we don't view this as a conflict of interest. We view it as we're all supporting each other, and we're all helping each other, stand on our own 2 feet. As we know, the arts are always in flux in any community, especially sadly here, in America. So by helping each other and supporting each other and, team sharing, choreographer sharing, vocal director sharing, actor sharing, that helps us all survive and make each other better. And we've done costume sharing with other
which is where our
relationship with
BCT started was when we started 7-8 years ago. Our good friend Tammy Long, who's the costumer and is on the board and is president of the board there and has been building up the program, donates costumes to our porter program.
Yep.
She comes in and she sizes the kids and she makes costumes and that kind of thing. That's where our partnership started with Byron Civic, and then it's just kind of morphed into other things, and now we are, employees there and working with them to help build their program. And we just kind of, again, we partnered back and forth. Then they started partnering with Byron Park District again, which is this great marriage that's happening. And not only that, we've expanded to, again, as Gateway, starting as a community theater, moving into individuals with special needs. Now we've partnered with Easter Seals in town. So now we have also theater classes, drama classes with Easter Seals with individuals with autism. So we've just kind of, been drawn into, just into that community, and we're so glad to be a part of that. And Byron is doing the same thing, and really just being very diverse and bringing. It's just been a great marriage, great partnership.
It's been a while now, so I'm curious, do you remember the first relationship that took you in this direction? Was there a family with a child with special needs or something that you were like, oh yeah, we can incorporate them, and then all of a sudden, whoa, wait a minute, here's this whole community of people that some of them want to do theater and we can help them?
Yes. So I'm a voice teacher Monday through Friday. And my path with Colleen Maurer and Pam Maurer with KMK Media, our paths crossed, and Colleen started taking voice lessons from me. And here we go.
Look at all these Gigi's Playhouse folks.
Here is the GG Playhouse folks. And next thing we know, Pam and I are sitting down, we're talking, and then start sitting down with the executive director. It took about, I would say, 2 years for that to actually happen, because Gigi's wasn't ready.
Yeah.
We weren't ready either, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it took about 2 years of us building that relationship outside of, the theater, and just becoming friends and learning the program, getting the training on our side. And then it just happened. And now we have theater classes once a week at Gigi's. We have theater class once a week at Easter Seals. So we are training this community, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them to express, to learn how to let their emotion be on stage. We started puppetry with them, and that way it's a wonderful art for them to not be themselves necessarily, but to be that puppet. So that has been a really, really great theater form that we have been introducing to them as well.
And the executive director there at Gigi's has seen that the literacy level in our individuals from doing shows, because they have to memorize scripts and read scripts and memorize lyrics, has started to improve so much. Their social behavior is improving, really, really quickly, even more so than some of the other classes that they do. So it's encouraged even more individuals to join in. When we did Joseph, half of our cast had special needs. It was so amazing to see that sheer number on stage, and our audience was like, oh my gosh, you don't see this anywhere, and they're full out singing, they're memorized on their lyrics, they're memorized on their choreography, and doing hard choreography. We don't simplify anything for them. We want inclusion theater. The reason it's called, inclusion theater is it really is about include them, in every aspect, and there's no reason to adjust anything for them. They can handle the vocals, they can handle memorizing, they can handle choreography. It's just a matter of, having the right team that knows how to walk alongside them and help them with memorization, skills and little tricks and that kind of stuff, and boom, the end result is something that left our audience speechless.
When you have educational type things like this going on, it's sometimes it's difficult for a young person, or even for us as adults, to see kind of the end goal, the big picture of everything. But when you break it down into chunks, like a play, like a musical, where the end goal is, a July 17th, or what is the first performance? Oh, we lost them. I hope they get back on. Something happened. Let me try this again.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. I was like, did your battery die? No, hopefully you're plugged in. So when you have a goal that we're putting this performance on, now you have this reason, this drive to get things memorized and prepared for that date. And like you say, their literacy rates and the reading rates, it just skyrockets because you have that chunk goal right in front of you, and that's exciting. That's really cool to see.
It's very, and as you know, performer, it's no different with community theater. When you've got a combination like we do with Beauty and the Beast at BCT and Byron Park District, age 8 to 98. Learn all of that as we're pushing them all on the same level. And again, that's what I love about community theater, because it is a community. And when you've got, maybe an older actor who hasn't done a show in a while, not getting the choreography, you got a 10-year-old who's coming alongside of him, teaching them the choreography. That's why I love theater.
It's cool.
I love it. I love community theater. And Byron's a really great example of that age gap, and seeing them work together and helping one another out. And it's just it's a beautiful piece, as you know. I don't know if you know, but this is the year that Disney is putting this show in the archive. So we don't know how long it's going to be out of our reach as a community. So this is the time to come and see it.
They've done this in the past with a lot of different things. Remember back when they had VHS tapes?
Yeah.
the videos going away. Yeah, you could rent them at Blockbuster until this date, and then they're putting them away back into the vault.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I saw all the Disney videos that I saw with my kids, is that we would get them on VHS and we would watch the daylights out of them. And then they were gone, and we'd move on to the next best thing. We saw Beauty and the Beast. We saw Little Mermaid. So many of them from back in the early to mid 90s. It's pretty incredible stuff. But
it's wonderful. And on the stage, it's just as beautiful.
Oh, it's a gorgeous show.
It's a wonderful show.
Something struck me when you were talking. I think, Andrew, you said something, or one of you said the older person who can't get the choreography, and then the 10-year-old comes along and shows them how to do it. Acting is humbling. And if it's not humbling, then you're in the wrong business.
You're not trying.
Well, what I'm saying is you better be able to take a little direction from a 10-year-old. Yeah, you better be able to. That's what makes you better. Yeah.
Everybody come, or not hiring, but everyone come in, because it's all on volunteer. But it's wonderful to watch, someone my age looking at a 15-year-old and going, "Whoa, you got to help me because I don't want to suck on stage."
What do you mean your age? You're not that old. Come on now.
Well, as you mentioned, Byron Civic Theater, you have all different ages playing a part in this show and your shows in the past. So it's a wonderful way to bring the community together. And your opening night, July 19th, is coming up this Friday. All tickets $15 each, general admission. And it looks like it are available online until noon Friday prior to the weekend. Online orders can be picked up at the Byron Middle School. There's a will call that will be available 1 hour prior to each performance, and it's a 7:00 show Friday and Saturday night,
Correct.
Sunday matinee at 2, and then all over again July 26, 27, and 28. So 6 big performances. How's the cast feeling? How are they gauged here this last rehearsal? Are they ready and raring to go, or is there a few little hurdles they're still trying to jump?
You know, there's some hurdles. There's always little hurdles, right?
As a cast member, pre-heavy stress level.
Yeah. This is where I, as the director, I go, oh, I haven't blocked the finale yet. I should do that.
Time to get that ready. Yeah. Well, the link for the tickets is in the chat, so it should be very easy to find the Facebook page and the link to all the tickets information there. So head on out to Byron. If you're not in Byron, make the drive. It's worth, especially if you're in the Rockford area. It's a beautiful drive down the river.
Right.
Yes, it is.
And this is a great time of year to do that. So your signal's really cutting out with us, Andrew and Ellen. So I'm going to say thank you for your time this morning. We're going to let you go, and we'll be glad to have you back for your next production. So thanks again for reaching out and being a part of the In Crowd 815.
Thanks, Greg, for having us.
Appreciate so much.
You got it. So Beauty and the Beast is coming up in Byron, and you're going to want to go out there and see what they are doing. And I got to tell you, Tom, that theater at the middle school, it is superb. It is such a beautiful, comfortable theater. Not too big, not too small. You can see everything and hear everything just perfectly. So yeah, who's that beast behind that sign?
I am not an animal. No, wait, that's Elephant Man. There we go.
You want to go down and check it out. So check out Byron Civic Theater, and the link there is all in the chat. Awesome. All right. We don't have Joanne this morning, and I'll double check one last time to see if she's not on there. So we are going to let's see.
Oh, you were going to ask the guests to.
I was going to ask the guests if they maybe somebody watching can throw it up in the chat real quick what their guess is for our big number of the week.
All right, and I've already sent you mine, so it's not going to influence me one way or the other.
No. If you heard the big number of the week earlier on the show, it's 6.9 billion. The answer is Legos or layups. We need someone to answer for Joanne this morning.
First person to log in is her answer.
So I'm looking for comments on either one of our platforms here. You know what? Because the group page won't show me comments, which kind of stinks. And Instagram, I have to look at the actual Instagram feed because that won't show up on my Restream feed yet. They don't have that figured out yet. So, all right. So there we go. I do have some shout outs I want to make sure to get to this week. Surprise, surprise. Want to give a shout out this week to the Rockford Rivets and thank them for the honor of allowing me to sing the national anthem before Sunday's game last week. That was fun. And our buddy Paul Iverson from Iverson Painting said that I actually did do a good job. So if he said I did a good job, it must have been a good job.
It wasn't Carl Lewis good or Roseanne Barr good, but it was good, right?
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Here's the funny thing. Roseanne Barr deliberately made it horrible. Carl Lewis was just that bad.
He was just, yeah. He's in a funny commercial right now for the Olympics. So, still kudos to Carl Lewis. Good.
Oh, absolutely.
Good guy.
Yeah, he wasn't intentionally trying to trash it, unlike Roseanne. And now Roseanne she's all over the media, and she's quite the conservative, which really surprises me because she was always quite the liberal. I think she had some sort of a transformation.
I think she got kicked out of the group and realized what was going on there. So yeah, kudos to Zoran. I will give you this little tip. Okay. When you watch the Super Bowl every year, one of the things you can bet on is the length of time it takes the singer to sing the national anthem.
Oh yeah. Over 2 minutes, under 2 minutes. It's usually
under is usually like 2:04 or 2:03.
Okay. Yeah. Something like that.
I bring that up because I say this: always bet the under with me. I sing that baby fast. I like a tempo on that thing.
Oh, let's say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Not quite that fast, but yeah, a little higher tempo. I want to give some congratulations this week to our Sold on Tony Keller Williams Realty Signature clients, Dustin and Rowan and the Hoffman family, all getting offers accepted this week after a few tough weeks, Tom. After a few tough weeks, it was nice to have some offers get accepted, and the competition's still really, really stiff out there. There still continues to be way more buyers than sellers. And what that means is houses that show nice and are priced right are getting multiple offers. And sometimes that meaning multiple offers. I could tell you a story of one just a few weeks ago that one of my clients was in the running to try to get, had 28 offers.
Wow.
In Loves Park. Yeah, again, house showed great, priced right. It honestly, maybe that one was priced just a little bit too low. It probably should have been priced a little bit higher in the first place. Instead of generating 28 offers, maybe they would have generated 14 or something with a little higher price. But that's all that to say, if you're thinking about selling, please let me know, because we need sellers desperately, and we can help you get your house and your property sold. Wanted to give a shout out to 640 Meats. Have you done lunch at 640 Meats yet on East Riverside?
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, they have the best potato salad ever. And as soon as I had it, and I've done this several times. If I'm hungry and I'm kind of driving down Riverside, I'm like, ooh, 640. Yeah. The potato salad is just like what my mom used to make. So for me, it's nostalgic, but it's so good. And the sandwiches, if you like sloppy good, mayonnaise, everything like that, get one of those sandwiches. They are huge, and I can't even eat the whole thing at once. I love 640 Meats. They are good.
They're so good. I met our buddy Riley O'Neill from WROK for lunch there this week, and we both tried the brisket sandwich. And I asked the guy behind the counter, I said, well, what do you like to put on your brisket sandwich? I don't like spicy stuff. I like the sweet stuff. And he goes, well, have you tried it with pepper jack and the barbecue sauce? And I'm like, that sounds good. Let's give it a run. Oh, and by the way, he said, do you like onions and green peppers? I said, you know what? Let's try just the green peppers. So I had a brisket sandwich with fried up green peppers and pepper jack cheese and barbecue sauce.
That sounds really good, but you just got done telling them you don't like the spicy stuff. Okay. Spicy and peppery, two different things. Okay, never mind.
Well, pepper jack cheese normally doesn't have a bite to it.
Yeah, okay. I guess
normally it's not. Yeah, it might be a little on the peppery side, but not necessarily a spicy bite your tongue side.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that. So thanks to the folks at 640 Meats for a great lunch this week.
How's Riley doing, by the way?
Doing better. So they're taking the week off this week. I don't know if you saw this, but they're taking their summer break this next week, so they'll be doing best of shows all this next week on WROK. But he's been healing up from the issue that he's been having with his back. So
yeah, right.
All of that.
Riley and I share a birthday.
Is it the same day?
Same day. I'm 1 year older than him, just 1 year.
Okay. All right. We had a Rockford linked lunch yesterday at Machine Shed. I want to thank Linda Parsons, who is a reflexologist. She educated us on all things feet and hands and ears and the pressure points how those are connected to your different organs in your body, and the things that you can heal yourself or get healing from a reflexologist like her without having to take medicines. If your body really doesn't react well to medicines, highly recommend trying reflexology and seeing if that doesn't relieve some of the pains you might be having in your joints and organs and stuff like that. So Linda with a Y, Lynda, Linda Parsons, does a great job. And I can attest to that because she does work on my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law has seen great improvement. So I can give her a review on that aspect. The Ski Bronx water ski show team, they're in Indiana this weekend for the division water ski regional tournament. They were supposed to host this tournament, but as we all know, the river's been high. They adjusted the river using the dam for the 4th of July so that we could be on the river for the 4th of July, but they had to put the dam back down, and that rose the levels back up, and so it's been a no wake ever since.
They couldn't adjust it again.
They got to be mindful of downriver folks like Byron in Dixon. They got to be mindful of their water levels as well.
This is true. Yeah.
So they are monitoring that, but they decided well before this, when the first no wake hit, that they were going to have to move the tournament, and Indiana was ready to host it out there in Warsaw, Indiana. So they're hosting the tournament this weekend. Ski Bronx, I believe, ski tomorrow, like right around noon or early afternoon. So hopefully we'll have some scores and whatnot posted by Sunday night. We'll know what's going on with the national tournament, which comes up in August, and the second weekend in August, it's still projected to be hosted at the Ski Bronx site at Shorewood Park. So hopefully the river will be corrected by then, and we don't get too much rain between now and then. Because
right.
Even up in Janesville, they haven't been able to ski on the river in Janesville either. The Rock Aqua Jays, I think, have done maybe one show or two shows all season so far up on their Trexler Park. So that's been tough. And then my last shout out would be your last chance to see Legally Blonde, Starlight Theater, this night tonight at 8:00 and tomorrow night at 8, and then it is done, as in over and never coming back. We had a great show last night. Again, it was so much fun. The crowds are really into the show, cheering, booing. There's booing that's appropriate in this show.
Really?
Oh yes, there's characters you want to boo. And in fact, during one of the shows, during one of the scenes, when Warner does something to Elle, someone in the audience said, "Warner, you suck."
Oh, I've heard that before. Wow.
And it wasn't directed at Tom Warner. It was directed at Warner, the character in Legally Blonde. And oh my gosh, it was so much funny. And there's some other things that happen that are somewhat shocking. And it's not just oohs and ahs and gasps from the audience. Sometimes it's no, and sometimes it's boo, and it's great. So 8:00 tonight, 8:00 tomorrow night. There are still tickets available for Legally Blonde. And then next week, Guys and Dolls takes the stage. The following week after that, The Color Purple. And after that, Newsies. And then Starlight's, they're also doing a Beauty and the Beast rendition of Beauty and the Beast musical in August. And that'll be, I think the third weekend in August? I don't have the dates in front of me, but that's coming up as well at Starlight Theater on the campus of Rock Valley College. And that would be everything, I think. What is this link for? Oh, one last plug. Can you hear Veda in the background?
I hear Veda. Yeah.
She's upset. Calm down, Veda. Our friends at Nick's Wish have their big event coming up October 12th. Their Nick's Home Run. This is kind of a double plug, Tom, because Nick's Wish has been doing this out at Rivets Stadium, and I want to give Rivets Stadium another plug, and the Rockford Rivets with all that they're doing, because they're having a great season. The team is playing really well. They won the first half of their division, and because they split it in two because of the different, the way that they're set up with college players. They're a little bit of a different roster sometimes by the end of the season. So they do a first half and a second half champion, and they won the first half of their division. But 13th annual Nick's Home Run is coming up October 12th at Rockford Rivets Stadium, and they are still looking for sponsors for some of the stuff that's going on this year there. So there you go. I think that covers all my shout outs for this week. How about yourself, my friend? Since we don't have Joanne, let's wrap things up.
All right, sounds good. Do we? You might as well give out the big number.
Let's do this. Last call for big. Our big number of the week this week, 6.9 billion. Is it Legos or is it layups? I don't know what's going on with this, but it's not coming through. So sorry. There it goes. You sent me your guess. I wonder if you even remember what you guessed. Okay, there it is.
I can.
We're going to see if we're going to give you a point or not. There were thieves. Okay, thank you. All right, there we go. There were thieves that allegedly lifted thousands of new unopened Lego sets from stores near Eugene, Oregon, and then they sold them to a local hobby shop. Here's the rub. Police say the store's owner knew that the sets were stolen. Here's a pro tip. Don't buy stuff that you know is stolen. Is that even a pro tip, Tom? That's just...
Well, that's called common sense, but most people don't understand. It is a crime to buy something that you know is stolen. It's even a crime to buy it if you don't know it's stolen. That's why pawn shops have these rules like, no, I'm sorry, you're going to have to show ownership of that ring or ownership of that gun or something like that. Sorry, I can't do it.
Sign here. Yeah, sign here. The whole crime ring came crashing down. There was a police raid, and they raided over 4,200 Lego sets worth over $200,000. Yeah, so Legos wasn't the answer. We're going to keep the score the same, Tom. Sorry. Yeah, the Legos.
That's all right. I would not have wanted that point anyway if Joanne wasn't able to. So no.
The NBA has reportedly finalized their media rights deal with NBC, Amazon, and ESPN. And the deal reportedly, we'll see if this gets finalized for sure, but the deal reportedly is worth $6.9 billion per season.
Wow.
Through the year 2036. So this is a 12-year deal, or maybe 11-year deal if it starts next year. Commissioner Adam Silver, he probably deserves a raise.
I don't like him.
Well, he's kind of different. The league's previous deal was worth $2.7 billion. So, yeah, from 2.7 to $6.9 billion per season to broadcast NBA games, and NBC will have them. I think that's the good news. NBC hopefully won't just throw them all on Peacock. Hopefully they'll have them on broadcast TV.
Yeah.
So we can see, the game of the week every weekend or whatever they're going to do with it. Amazon and ESPN also part of the package deal. So there we go. That's what's going on.
Okay, I'm confused. Where was the layup? I know it's basketball. That's what we call a stretch.
Thank you.
Bit of a stretch. You threw me because I personally stepped on 6.8 billion Legos in my life. So that's why I went Legos.
I got the dents on my feet to prove it.
Yeah.
They're all right there.
When are we talking Packer football? I've been dying to talk Packer football.
You are a very wise man to bring that up because not next week, but the week after. Packer football.
JW
is going to be with us. Jacob Westendorf is excited, as excited as you, if not more excited than you, to talk Packers football. He writes about it, and we're for Sports Illustrated. And I'm very interested to see his take on the Packers' projected finish for 2024. Are they going to be good enough to take down the Lions? Because the Lions were the cream of the NFC North crop last year.
I don't see that. I don't think so.
I
honestly don't. Yeah, fine. They won the division and they looked pretty good and pretty unstoppable. But the reason they weren't in the Super Bowl was because Dan Campbell's a moron. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. He's a moron. He's going to. We're gonna run the ball on 4th and 12 rather than kick that field goal that'll put us up by 3 scores. No, he lost that game for them, and he's going to do the same again. The honeymoon is over for Dan Campbell because people are starting to talk. The honeymoon's over, and so this year. By the way, I won't get too far into this because I know we got to go. I got stuff to do. I got a trivia event later, but the thing is, we found out last year how good a coach Matt LaFleur is. Somebody said the other day on a podcast I was watching, they said, what happened this past year was Matt LaFleur finally got a quarterback when he said, hey, I want you to run triple action, Y right, Z factor, blah, 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 whatever. Jordan Love says, okay, coach, let's do it. And he does it. That's the X factor. That's the difference right there. Aaron Rodgers would have laughed at him and said, oh, maybe I'll run it. I'll check the defense and we'll see. But when you have somebody that does what's asked of you, nice things happen. Funny how that works out. It's so funny how that works out. Jordan Love is a stud. He is a bona fide stud.
And they've got 4 or 5 legitimate wide receivers that you never know which one is going to be the open man.
You're only hitting the tip of the iceberg right now. It is amazing what they have. 2 tight ends that are bona fide potential All-Pros. You got Josh Jacobs, who is actually going to be 4 years younger than Aaron Jones. Josh Jacobs is an absolute stud. Marshawn Lloyd.
If he can catch the ball, he's going to be what Aaron Jones was 4 years ago.
They just underused him in LA and then Las Vegas. They underused him big time. Okay, and then Oakland. I guess it was back in Oakland. I don't know. Now they're in Las Vegas.
One of those Raiders teams.
Marshawn Lloyd from USC. Oh my God, this guy has breakaway speed. This is going to be a 1-2 punch like you wouldn't believe. And then a healthy
Eddie Lacy.
I hope not. I hope he's better than that.
All right.
No, you know what? AJ Dillon will be. Marshawn Lloyd will be, I think, more along the lines of Marshall Faulk.
Here's hoping.
I think he will. He's and then AJ Dillon will fill the role of, say, an Eddie Lacy because he'll be a third down punishing back. When we're up by 14 points and it's middle to late third quarter and we get the ball, you'll bring in AJ Dillon, let him pound it. And then all of a sudden the play action pass over the middle to a Romeo Dobbs or something like that, touchdown. So it's going to be interesting. And then we haven't even talked about the defense. Oh, and by the way, one more thing I want to say before we go. The kicking game is what lost a lot for us last year. There were 2 games in particular in the regular season. The Denver game where all he has to do is make the field goal. And then I'm pretty sure it was the Giants game where if he makes the field goal, we did go up. We went up by like 17-16 or whatever. And then Tommy DeVito brings them back, and it was just a mess. That was on Joe Barry. The first one was on the kicker. That was on Joe Barry. Both of those have changed now. But the other thing I was going to say is the other one with the kicker was in the NFC divisional game against San Francisco. We go up by 7 with 6 minutes left. It means San Francisco has to score a touchdown just to tie. They can't eat up 5.5 minutes worth of clock. They would have to go down there and score quickly. And what did we see from Brock Purdy? His propensity to throw the ball errantly. And we would have probably forced an interception. Ball game. Packers are in the NFC Championship game. But anyway, that's all speculation. What it could have, should have, would have, whatever. Forget about all that. It's last year. Let's move on to this year. This is going to be, because again, we haven't even talked about the defense. We could say that for a couple of weeks from now. The defense is going to be incredible. Ball hawkers, run to the ball. One of the problems with the Packers defense these last few years is that Joe Barry's defense just kind of sat back and waited for it to happen.
They didn't attack.
They didn't attack. No.
Yeah. And if you can have a defense that at least attacks on occasion, now you're getting turnovers, now you're getting defensive scores, and now you're really flipping the script on a game that the Packers used to do. Remember when they used to win most games 30-something to teen something over and over?
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that. I remember that because your defense was always Leroy Butler. You had a Hall of Famer, Leroy Butler. You had him just everywhere in the secondary, making things happen. Charles Woodson. I mean, what an incredible
Clay Matthews in his prime. That was
Clay
so
Matthews in his prime. They didn't play on the same teams, but yeah. But you're right. You're right. You had Clay, and then you had AJ Hawk just before that. I believe those two actually played together for a couple of years. But yeah, you have to have studs. You have to have talent, but you got to have that mentality that says we're going to the ball. We're going to find the ball. We're going to strip it from you. We're going to make you forget your middle name. and I mean. Oh my goodness gracious!
Yes. All right, next week on the show we do have Beth Howard from the Friends of the Coronado Foundation. She was rescheduled from her time. She was supposed to be with us in June and fell ill. She's feeling better now, and we're looking forward to having Beth Howard from the Friends of the Coronado on the show right here next week. And is that going to? Oh, look at there we go. There it is. Friends of the Coronado, advocating for and serving the Coronado Theater for all to use and share. Love what they do and want to hear more from Beth about all things Coronado Theater. So there you go, my friend. Until next time, remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same and meet you back here for another In Crowd 815 podcast.
All right. See you next week, buddy.
So long, everybody.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815.